Get in, nerds. We are playing Hearts of Iron 4. We are preparing for a war on two fronts, which I'm hoping doesn't become a giant boondoggle. I think the chances of it becoming a giant boondoggle are moderate. Wow, Italy's got a lot of troops here. Oh no, Rajendra Sinha Jadeja has fallen ill. Unfortunate. It's only for 30 days though, so it should be fine. Ordnance Factory Medak is complete. That's very good, so that gives us one more military factory. Now, do I go for Legacy of Military Service? There are many villages around India where the fathers served in the military, and so their sons are pressured to as well. It is tradition after all, and we can use this to gather more recruits than would be normal. I definitely want to do this. But do I want to do it now? Yes, I think now is the right time. This gives us 3 years of progress on agrarian society in 70 days. Also, Ordnance Factory Medak getting completed. Does that... Oh, I goofed up. Dang it. How do I... Hold on. How do I upgrade? Here. It's here. Alright. Now we swap. The Munich Agreement. German demands for the Sudeten territory in Czechoslovakia, which is home to a significant German minority, have intensified. At a summit held in Munich, Germany, Britain, and France and Italy sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. Czechoslovakia was not invited to attend. An agreement was reached in which Germany annexes the Sudetenland but will not pursue any further territorial gains in Europe. Mr. Chamberlain spoke to crowds in London. For the second time, a prime minister has returned from Germany bringing peace with honor. I believe it is peace for our time. No this year, then.
Come on.
Sadly, it was not peace with honor. But hopes were high, and it would have been a great world if it had been. Am I producing trucks? I certainly am. Alright, beautiful. So, research targets, 39's a big year. I'm definitely going to need my industry upgrades, as well as other things. I think these units are mostly suitable for defense at the time being, but I think that's fine. I think as long as Britain can push in these other areas, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm really hoping they can. These units look like easy targets, though, so I could potentially throw some force against them and make them, and a temptation to pull these units out just because I don't want to necessarily have them be under threat, but at the same time, I think they're doing fine where they are. How's our autonomy gain? Very respectable. Gaining autonomy at a good clip now. Hopefully that'll continue. So, from here, let's take a quick look at our national foci, because I'm going to be going... Come on. I'm going to be going for all this stuff. So, a Congress resurgent. The National Congress has surged in popularity and strength. It is now a political force that cannot be denied. Very small amount of autonomy gain, higher resistance targets. India United. We are Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Jews. All of us are India. India will stay united during partition and will not split. Power sharing agreement. The Muslim League looks at us with suspicion, afraid of what will happen to Muslims in a Hindu-dominated India. We shall enter into an agreement with them to share power equally. This reduces political power gain, war support, and compliance growth speed, but provides daily democracy support for 4 years. Reduces compliance in Mysore, Hyderabad, Gujarat, and 15 other states, but also reduces resistance. After that, finished with this. Let me see. I think we go directly to industry. We have 2 options. Cabinet Mission Plan. With a united front of both Muslims and Hindus, we are prepared to face the delegation sent from British government. Guided by Britain, which is extra factory and dockyard output, daily autonomy progress gain, and democracy support. Over here we have a permanent Muslim seat in government. Muslims are a large minority in our country, and to quell any angst they might have over a united India, we will grant them a permanent government seat. Increases the recruitable pop factor from marginalized Muslim community, increases stability, provides a big old division defense bonus on core territory, and provides a little bit of extra autonomy progress gain. Once we got both of those done, we'll grab inclusive nationalism. Nationalism and pride in your country isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as we can foster it to be inclusive for everyone. Bonds won't break if we all share the same love for our nation. Small bonuses to land doctrine. Inclusive nationalism gives extra division org and attack, which is pretty solid. And then finally, a secular state. India is a religious country, but it is important that the state itself is secular to cast away any doubts of potential biases against the minority. Gives 150 political power and reduces base stability by 15%. That's pretty rough, but I think we can weather it. After that, Kingdom of Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon. In a public declaration, Miklos Horthy has renounced the treaty imposed by the Allied powers after the Great War. Signed by the Hungarians under protest in 1920, greatly reduces the country's size and limited the strength of its military. In his speech, Miklos Horthy already hinted that Hungary may soon look towards reaffirming their claims on the territories taken from them 2 decades ago. They're meddling in the world order. Alright, let's quickly take a look here. We're gonna grab... No. I'm gonna grab excavation too. More important to get a head start on that. So, once the secular state is concluded, we'll grab a tryst with destiny. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes we shall redeem our pledge. Not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awaken to life and freedom. 15% extra democracy support, extra political power, army experience gain, and experienced soldier losses reduction. That's really solid. After that, we'll pledge for the Allies, but for this, we need to be independent. So we need to knock out all of this. So this is going to be 70 days, 35, 70, 70. So, and then 70. So this is about 1 1/3 years for all of this. And then after that, I think it's going to be temple entry. I think maybe we'll grab some of this stuff while we're working on that, because this is a bunch of democracy support as well, and that'll be really useful. Alright, let's go ahead and change our larger infantry division template to include logistical support, and now we'll get these units training, and that'll be just fine. So, truck shortage is actually quite modest. Support equipment shortage is modest. So what do we need the most of? Artillery and support equipment. Really, especially artillery. So, the Panay incident. American and British gunboats were attacked by Japanese aircraft in separate actions today while evacuating Western civilians from the front line in the war between Japan and China. Despite being clearly marked as an American vessel, the USS Panay was hit by 2 bombs and sunk, with 3 American and 1 Italian citizens killed and others wounded. In a separate attack on the HMS Ladybird, 1 British sailor was killed. Both the American and British governments have issued strong protests. The incident highlights the increasing tensions between the 3 foremost naval powers. Does Japan have no limits? Alright, we're still working on a bunch of other stuff here, but I think the time is coming to increase our... Oh, actually, I don't want to completely overrun West Bengal. So let's go ahead and throw a couple of these in Delhi. Because I think I want to increase my amount of support and artillery built. No. I don't dare increase the number right away, but I want to I don't dare increase my reduce my amount of infantry equipment produced right now because I'm feeling very healthy with this number and I don't want it to go down. Which it is going to do if I want to continue to deploy divisions, which of course I do want to do.
Come on.
With these units exercising, they should be good to go before... Well, not before the end of 38, but certainly before things pop off. Religious violence once again, this time in Manipur. I'm going to imprison the agitators. That's what we're doing. I can't afford to lose this stability. I don't yet have the ability to increase stability via worker conditions again, but it's a good time to ban fascism. Alright, so that's legacy of military service knocked out. Let's finish out with this other stuff. A Congress resurgent? Go. Could ban fascism. Could ban communism. Let's do it. Are these useful long term? Maybe not. But they feel like the right call. Autonomy is increasing. And Japan, unfortunately, appears to be gaining momentum over here, which I'm not very pleased about.
Come on.
Not very pleased at all. Alright, there's Excavation 1. It is January, so we'll swap over to these other industrial techs to increase research speed and whatnot. I think once... Ooh, and there's a little bit more manpower. We are mobilizing just very, very slowly. I think once this finishes, I'm going to throw these military factories in up above to get them knocked right out, because, again, I want to get inflow of support equipment and artillery faster rather than slower. Artillery is probably a bigger priority medium term. 692 days versus 409 days. Yeah, artillery is the bigger concern overall. Do I dare deploy more units? I would like to have a few more troops available. Aftermath of the Chilean earthquake. An earthquake of magnitude 8.3. Nope. Maximum Mercalli intensity of X. Not sure if that's X or 10, because I don't know a lot about the Mercalli scale. Has left Chilean cities of Chillán and Concepcion in complete ruin, with a death toll above 28,000. Reconstruction and relief efforts are on the way, but many have already been displaced, and the countries in the region are unsure of how to best solve the ongoing issue. Horrifying. Meanwhile, in China, Yellow River blown. In a last-ditch attempt to halt the oncoming might of Japanese forces, the network of dikes and flood defenses along the Yellow River were destroyed by the Chinese army. The ensuing flash floods have displaced huge numbers of rural populations, who were only given a brief window to prepare. It remains to be seen if this act can buy the Chinese military enough time to regroup and face further combat, a humanitarian tragedy. I forgot. I was going to put an attaché over here, and I definitely want to do that. So, let's keep an eye on our political power. Don't let me forget. Put it in the comments if I'm forgetting. I will feel silly. Alright. Happily, truck situation has never been better. And infantry equipment amount is just fine. Again, we're going to kind of slowly increase our divisions into proper divisions. And for now, it's... Ooh, I do have the potential to do radio propaganda. It's going to cost me 75 political power. It's going to increase my war support above 25, which will let me get partial mobilization, which is good. On the other hand, I don't necessarily need that. Alright, here we go. Attaché. Shabamzo. Hey, I got my war support. Excellent. In any case, I've got an option over here. The Defense of India Act, which, if I'm more than 50% war support, allows me to go to war economy, and that's just fine. It also reduces resistance in a bunch of areas. Alright, Congress Resurgent is finished. Let's go ahead and get started with India United. Yes, there's a lot of resistance in Rajputana and Manipur. Do I need to move this guy? I don't think so. I think he's still where I want him to be. Glad I got that guy. That guy was the right call. Alright, I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do, and that's okay. So at some point in the middle of this, in fact I think... Alright, no longer get the effects of boycotting British goods. That's unfortunate, but it did what we needed it to do. I think once we finish these factories in West Bengal, or once we're on our way to finishing those factories in West Bengal, I think then we're going to circle back around to agricultural cooperatives. It's going to get us a few extra infrastructure. It's not ideal. More religious violence. Imprison the agitators. There's dispersed industry. Very good. Let's finish out excavation next. The fate of Czechoslovakia. German troops have crossed into Bohemia and Moravia ostensibly to restore order in the regions in the wake of the collapsing Czechoslovakian government. In Prague, the occupying forces announced the creation of an autonomous protectorate within the German Reich. With German support, Slovakia has been declared independent under the leadership of Joseph Tiso. The nation of Czechoslovakia is no more. So much for peace. Alright, France does have divisions protecting against the Italians over here. And we're, of course, supporting over here. So I'm thinking about whether I send a few more troops from India proper support this area? And I think the answer is no for now. We got a lot of manpower available now, which is very good. So that's that legacy of military service thing we just did. Do I do radio propaganda? I think I wait for at least a while. Because... Excellent. There's our units. I think I wait a little while just to make sure that... Just to see sort of where we are. I want to build up a reserve of political power so that I can do a large change once we're getting into our war. Defensive... This requires 50% war support. It doesn't require us to be at war. Although obviously Indianizing the army first would be better. Where are we with our civilian industry? We're not quite where we want to be with civilian industry. So I think we'll do one more of these foci before we continue over here to agricultural collectives. So, power sharing agreement. Let's do it. Obviously this is going to reduce our war support. So I might need to do radio propaganda after all if I want to subsequently get to partial mobilization. But again, I don't need to go to partial mobilization. King Zog submits to Italy. An ultimatum has been delivered to the Albanian government by Italian diplomats demanding that they submit to complete military occupation. King Zog has abdicated after realizing the futility of resistance, and Albania will now be ruled in a personal union under King Vittorio Emanuele III. Italy looks to the Balkans, another victim of Mussolini's ambitions. Alright, we're green on trucks. We're still working on artillery and support equipment. But it's never looked better for artillery and support equipment than it currently looks. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Shortage of aluminum. Let's go ahead and buy from China. China's got aluminum, right? Where's China? Does China not have their own aluminum? I guess not. In that case, we'll buy from the Soviets. No, we'll buy from France. I'm determined that France shall not fall. I know that's a little ambitious, but I think it's the right call. So how is resistance? It's not bad. It's not bad. It could definitely be worse, but it could also be better. Hyderabad's going to start spreading resistance around for a while, but also this thing we're doing right now is about to change the way things go. So I think at this point, oh no, we need better artillery and infantry equipment. All right, so I can't do more deployments right now because in a little while now we're going to be working on other stuff. Let me see. Let's grab the permanent Muslim governmental seat. It's going to get us a little bit more stability. I'll get us close. What about this construction? Actually, this is less than 70 days. June to August. Yeah, barely less than 70 days. But I think it's going to be time for agricultural collectives. Is this the right call? It's actually not that much infrastructure, and I could do all this other stuff first. On the other hand, decisions. Well, one thing is I want to Indianize the army. This gives a bunch of my guys good bonuses. And that puts me in a position to do the Defense of India Act later. But am I making a mistake by slowing myself down over here? Power sharing agreement is done. Extra stability would be really, really nice. I could also do debt relief, which will finish out the depression, which will also be nice. Dang. So much stuff I want to get done here. So little time. This one gives me autonomy progress. Both of these give me autonomy progress. Let's go with the cabinet mission plan. With this research slot, we'll grab our artillery. And Italy pursues closer bonds with Germany. Germany and Italy have expressed many conflicting interests, particularly in Austria and the Balkans. This has not, however, prevented the countries' foreign policies growing ever friendlier towards each other, and negotiations are underway for a pact that will protect common interests, quote-unquote. If negotiations are successful, we could see an alliance that will be able to exert great influence in Central and Eastern Europe. We'll keep an eye on the situation. Riots in Gujarat. Deploy the National Guard, damage the infrastructure and factories there. Alright. Let's swap over to partial mobilization. I think it's the right call. I don't know how long it's going to be before I can get that other stuff, but before I can get up to my Defense of India regulations. And in any case, I'm trying to get myself free. Alright, so it's currently 39. Bread carriers are 40 tech. Let's spend a little bit of time working on air. Supermarine India branch is definitely the right call. Supermarine seems really, really solid. How are these units? Okay, these units are getting there in terms of their overall needs. We're getting close to good on trains. And we're now producing more support equipment and artillery. Obviously, changing up artillery production is going to hurt, but it is what it is. I got a lot of infantry equipment in the pot. And some of that I could potentially lend these to China. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Diplomats from Germany and the Soviet Union concluded what observers are describing as an historic agreement today with the signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Named after German Foreign Minister Joachim von Ribbentrop and his Soviet counterpart Vyacheslav Molotov, this non-aggression pact stipulates that neither side will ally itself to nor aid an enemy of the other. Foreign diplomats warn that this treaty effectively gives Germany a free hand to wage war in Europe without having to fear Soviet intervention. This can't be good. We're at 37% world tension at this point. I lost some more support, which I'm not too pleased about. We'll definitely do radio propaganda. Ooh, but I've got improved working conditions available now. Still, I'm going to do radio propaganda because as world tension is not going to go down much, but if it goes down below 25%, I could have a hairball on my hands with my mobilization. Yeah, here we go. So this is the demobilize the economy mission. So this is why I got to do radio propaganda, because I'm now at 24% war support. And this is going to cause strikes, which is going to create a huge problem, or force me back to early mobilization. Either way, it's a problem, and I don't want to have to deal with it. So, radio propaganda is the solution. Spending a lot on... Oh, no, we're just spending those because of research interests. Did I lose Go Lightly? No, I didn't. Curious. Anyway, nothing to worry about. I'm sure it'll be fine. High resistance in Hyderabad. That's kind of the situation. That said, we're getting autonomy faster and faster these days. Cabinet mission plan is going to drag that up. 0.2 per day is pretty substantial. And the extra daily democracy support is going to be great. Here's our artillery. Well, let's go ahead and grab rapid fire. It's not amazing, but big gun breach block is really solid. Alright, we've got a pile of army experience. We're not at half democratic yet. But we might have the ability to shift to democratic once we become independent. This army is looking really solid. I'm feeling really confident in our ability to gum up the works in Belgium in the event of Germany starting a war over there. This force a little bit less so. That having been said, I don't dare upgrade them right now because this war is going to start pretty soon, and I don't want to put myself in a situation where I get caught training. All right, it's the middle of 39. Let's go ahead and grab our engine research. And then once this war starts, we'll be in a better position. Alright. That's going to hurt our artillery output, but it simply is what it is. We've got to do it. I'm going to queue in my next one into artillery. My next military factory into artillery. Not that I think there's going to be a lot of those. Ooh. Alright. Yes. Now I remember what I'm doing. I'm working on nuclear facilities. And I'm doing that air thing just to get myself radar. Alright, so cabinet mission plan is finished. And now we're going to grab agricultural collectives. And that's going to be rock solid. With that having been said, that is actually all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. We haven't gotten into a war yet, but there's sure to be a war soon. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.